The Adventure of the Speckled Band is set in April 1983 at Dr. Grimsby Royclott's house. This short story by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle tells about how Royclott's stepdaughter Julia dies. Sherlock finds all the clues and eventually figures out that a snake was used for the murder weapon, under Dr. Grimsby Royclott's command. The means of the murder is a small ventilator hole into Julia's room with a pointless bell rope hanging from it that does nothing. Another part of the means is that Julia's room is right next to Royclott's, but Helen's is not. The motive for the murder was that if each girl was married, Royclott would lose 250 pounds a month. Royclott had the perfect opportunity anytime one of the girls went to sleep. A theme for this story is desperation can lead to immorality. Greed is never the correct option. It causes Dr. Royclott to murder his stepdaughter Julia and also attempt to murder his other stepdaughter Julia. But thankfully, she comes to Sherlock Holmes and she turns out all right. Royclott was greedy and wanted to protect his income of 250 pounds per girl from his dead wife's money. He did not want either of his stepdaughters to get married, so he would lose the money. Clues. The first clue is that in the Royclott household, Helen's room was mysteriously under construction. It didn't actually need any construction, but what this forced Helen to do was sleep in Julia's room, and Julia's room was right next to Royclott's room, which had the little ventilator hole connecting them. Clue number 2 is the little ventilator hole right above Julia's bed with a bell rope hanging from it, and the hole couldn't really fit anything big through it, and the rope had no purpose. The third clue is a plain wooden chair in Royclott's room, which seemingly had no purpose at the time. Clue number 4 is that Julia's bed is actually nailed to the floor, so even if she wanted to move it, she could not. Another clue is that there was a rope with some sort of little loop on it in Royclott's room. The final big clue was that in Royclott's room there was a little saucer full of milk, which led Sherlock to believe that some sort of animal was being fed. This story is a masterpiece of detective fiction because it is a locked room puzzle and one of the best known of that kind. Another reason it was a masterpiece of detective fiction was because the murder weapon was a snake, which is pretty unique to this story. This story is similar to A Scandal in Bohemia because of the fact that the clients seem to be very wealthy. The King of Bohemia in A Scandal in Bohemia, and then Helen's stepfather in The Speckled Band. An important thing that we can take from this story is to be happy with what you have and don't be greedy because it will not turn out very well for you in the end.